Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. Going to check to see if everyone is online. I'm going to take a look at the YouTube viewers, see if you guys are online. Hello, Facebook. There you are, YouTube. Awesome. 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 Facebook. If you are out there and watching me, feel free to put a comment in, say hello, let me know you're out there. Okay, I got a bit of echo here. Let's see. Okay, awesome. Okay, I'm going back to Facebook. Facebook Live, folks, say hello. Let me know you're out there. Let's see. Yes. Hello. Hello, Deshaun Smith, the gift activator. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, Karen. Welcome. Awesome. So we are live. Thank you. Thank you for joining me once again. Welcome to Love Amplified Conversations. I am your host and author of Love Amplified, How Caregiving Reveals the Heart's True Capacity. Thank you for joining me tonight. Tonight is going to be a good night. It's going to be fun. Tonight we have a music therapist, which is a vital component of caregiving. For those of you who have someone in care in a facility or at home, music therapy is available to you. So this is going to be a great conversation, and I hope you guys can engage and ask your questions, because we are going to answer those questions for you tonight and give you some resources to help make your journey a little bit easier. And that's our plan for tonight. If you have questions, you can put them in the chat and we'll be able to answer you. Want to have some communication going back and forth, that would be great. And if my sound is good, let me know. If you're not hearing me, let me know. And we're going to have some fun tonight. Awesome. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, this is great. Okay, so our guest tonight is Taryn Thomas. I'm going to bring her to the stage and let her introduce herself. Sound is good. Thank you. Thank you out there. Thank you, Facebook. Sound is good. All right, Taryn, I'm going to bring you to the stage. Hello, Taryn Thomas. Welcome.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for
Thank
this
you.
opportunity.
Awesome. Great. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Everyone, let me know that you hear Taryn really well so we can make sure we have everything good and up and running. I don't want you to miss anything because she's going to be playing for us tonight. Hi, Arnita. Welcome. Awesome. Okay, Taryn, I'm going to go ahead and read your bio, do a proper introduction.
Oh,
So, Taryn Thomas is a native of Mamaroneck, New York. She began playing the piano by ear at the age of 4 without being classically trained. Wow. Taryn nurtured this God given gift in the Pentecostal church. As a child, she played organ and piano for worship services at Straight Gate Church in Mamaroneck, where she learned the importance of serving the community as well as serving God. As a young girl, she used her gift in hospitals, correctional facilities, and children's homes throughout Westchester County. As an adult, she attended National University in San Diego, California, completing her bachelor's in interdisciplinary studies. Her love of children and community service led her to work in early childhood education as a teacher and administrator for over 20 years. She's gone on to combine this love for children and her love for music and made an important change in her life. She attended NYU, where she completed the Masters of Arts in Music Therapy in 2009. She now works as a board certified music therapist for Accent Care Hospice and Palliative Care in Middlebury, Connecticut, and is a faculty member of the Hospice and Palliative Care Music Therapy Institute. Wow, that's awesome. Welcome. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We're honored to have you tonight. Thank you, Arnita. Thank you guys for letting me know you can hear her well. Awesome. I want you to just tell us a little bit more about yourself. I read your bio, which is awesome. Your background is great. Let us know what it's like for you now. I know you do it as a form of employment. That's what you do for your yes. So please talk to us about Accent Care and what you do there.
So Accent Care, I've been with this company. We were formerly Seasons Hospice. We're now Accent Care. I've been there for just celebrating my 11th year,
Oh,
11th anniversary, working in this capacity with this company. I actually I have patients in nursing homes. I have patients that are at home, have patients in assisted living facilities. So I drive around a lot of driving, lots of driving up and down the road. I see anywhere from 4 to 5 patients a day. A session can go from as short as 15 to 20 minutes to as long as 2 to 3 hours, just depending on what the patient is needing at the moment. Um, so that's how my life is now. A lot of time on the road, a lot of windshield time, a lot of windshield time.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of it sounds like you operate a lot like a sales rep. So it's a lot of it is field work. You're
Yes,
out in the
and
field.
field work. Yes, field work.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. 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 So this is actually a very interesting career, and I can see the history musically, what your background, but what made you go into this area? What made you to pursue this as a career,
Yeah, so I
music therapy?
actually didn't really know what music therapy was, and I was going through some changes in my life, and I said, okay, I need to make some changes here. So I, of course, prayed. That's
Mhm.
number one for me. And in my time of prayer, I decided to pursue and look into music therapy. So I volunteered at a place in White Plains, New York. It was called Heart Song, Heart Share or Heart Song. And I volunteered for 1 year with these children with autism because I didn't know what music therapy was.
Oh,
And so over my time, going to volunteer every week, spending the time with these children, learning how music worked with children with autism. And during that time, it was the last session with this group of kids. And this little boy said my name. He said, "Goodbye, Miss Taryn." And my heart just it just melted. I said, okay. And his mother was shocked because he never really spoke much. And so for him to actually say my name, meant a lot to his mother. But I could see that this kid, music was lighting this kid's eyes up, just seeing him light up and seeing him respond by playing instruments. They love numbers. Kids with autism love numbers. So it was really, really fascinating to see this little boy just light up through using music as a way to communicate. Um, and it was that moment I said, okay, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to go to school and I'm going to study this music therapy thing, and that's how it happened, really, through volunteer.
wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So when you had that opportunity with those children, that led you to take it as a career, but also work particularly with families.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
and
Okay.
and for me, how I wound up kind of getting to the population that I'm with now is another story. We'll get to that. I'm sure you're going to ask me some
Right.
questions.
No, I'd like to hear that because
So
I realize that's
when I was interning at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York, I had to do my internship there. Um, I was always wanting to go and be with patients that were getting close to passing away. That was seemed to be it was just a draw, a pull for me. And my supervisor, my internship supervisor, she said, you know what? You really need to meet Dr. Russell Hilliard. You really need to take this additional certification for hospice and palliative care. And I said, okay. So I took the class and took the certification. And he wound up opening a site in Connecticut. And that's kind of how I got here to Connecticut. He asked me to apply for the job here in Connecticut. And I applied and got the job. And that's how I wound up moving from New York to Connecticut, getting into hospice because I didn't really know that there was such a thing as you mean. It was like, you mean I can get to go and do this work with people that are as they're transitioning, but there was so much more to just being with people as they transition. So over the years, I learned I could do legacy projects, I could do music prompted reminiscence, I could do all kinds of different things within the hospice music therapy population. And I'd like to I just want to say quickly that music therapy, people ask and say, what is music therapy? Do you just go and sit and play songs for people all day? And it's like, no, it's therapy, and music is my tool. So much
Hmm.
like a physical therapist that may use, different things from massage and think, well, music is my tool. But I work with the, different interventions just using music. So music therapy, the definition: music therapy is a clinical evidence based use of music interventions to accomplish individualized goals within a therapeutic relationship by a credentialed professional who has completed an approved music therapy program. Music interventions can address a variety of healthcare and educational goals. So we're talking about caregiving, which is what your book is about, and which
Yeah.
is wonderful, by the way.
Thank you.
Um, so we're talking about, how do you use something like music therapy when you're working with caregiving, and that can look like anything from music prompted reminiscence. It can be music for relaxation. It can be music for reduction of anxiety. It can be music for memory, for reduction of symptoms related to dementia,
Hmm.
so many other things. But it's important that you are find a music therapist that is board certified, and we'll talk about that. There's the music therapy. Musictherapy.org you can go to, and you can really get the history of music therapy, where it came from, how it all got started. On that website, you will find tons of resources that will help you to learn the different interventions, the different things that we do with music therapy, how it works in hospice, how it works with autism, how it works with drug addiction, how it works with eating disorders, how it works with traumatic brain injuries. All these things are addressed using specific music therapy interventions.
Awesome. From time to time, everyone, I'm going to be looking over to my right because I want to make sure I'm putting in the information. So I'm engaging you guys, so you're getting these links that you can connect to. I want to go back to something you talked about, a legacy project. What is that?
So working with patients, sometimes they may have something that they want to leave for their family. So say a patient love to do recipes, for an example. So we may have them write down their favorite recipes, you know, and we make it into a book and make copies for the family. What I do with music therapy legacy projects, I should I give my example now, or should I wait a little bit?
Um, I want to hold on that one, but
Okay,
that idea of a legacy. Oh, okay. So that aligns. That recording aligns with the legacy
it is a
project.
legacy project, right?
Okay. Okay.
So
So
mhm.
So when a patient wants to leave, a legacy is what it sounds like. It's just something they leave behind when they
Yep.
pass.
Hmm.
And okay, that recording or something like that.
Be a recording. It could be. We had one that he was a young man, and he wrote out all the cards for each milestone for the child before he
Oh,
died, like the high school graduation, the because he
okay.
knew he wasn't going to be here. So the
Mm.
high school graduation, the prom night, the birthdays, the sweet 16, the high school
Wow.
graduation, the college graduation, the marriage, all those things, all those milestones that he expected his child to hit, that he knew he wasn't going to be there. So he wrote out cards for each one
Oh, that's awesome.
as a legacy. And sometimes it can be patients wanting to. I had one that was a karaoke singer, and he wanted to record all his favorite songs and leave for his boys. So we
Oh,
recorded
wow.
him singing all of his favorite karaoke songs, and oh boy, and
Wow.
made
So
copies.
this could get really involved
And
when you're
it
a
can get
legacy.
its involved, yeah. And what's so neat about it is that everybody participates.
Mhm.
So it's a way to provide something for families, but it's also something for the patient, because it's giving them a choice. A lot of times when people are at end of life, they're losing choice. They're losing this. You got to take this pill. You got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do the other.
Yeah.
But music is non-invasive, and it's about empowering them.
Hmm.
Music therapy gives people the opportunity to be empowered. So if
Right.
they're feeling anger, maybe for that day, maybe they're feeling anger, maybe they're feeling anxious, maybe they're feeling nervous, or whatever it is, how can we use music for that? We can use drumming. Show me what that anger looks like. Let's use this drum.
Hmm.
Let's, let's bang it out.
Wow.
How do we, so those are things that we use. Maybe they want to sing. Let's sing. I'm going to let you start singing and I'm going to join you. Maybe we'll just sing. Maybe I won't play anything. Maybe we'll just sing. Maybe we'll write a song. We can write a song, you know,
Okay.
songwriting. So it's a variety of things. Yeah.
So that's really good. I like that. I think I want to let us go back the legacy,
Mhm.
program. Let's hear the clip that you have.
Okay. So I have two actually here, and this one is a patient that did not want. She knew she had dementia. She had an early diagnosis, and she did not want to forget her children's and grandchildren's names. So
Okay.
we put it to a little song, and it's kind of short, but it's really cool. Okay. Oh, she wanted to clear her throat.
My name is Connie and I love flowers. My name is Connie and I love flowers. My name is Connie and I love flowers. Oh yeah. My name is Connie. I love my family and they love me. I love my family and they love me. I love my family and they love me. Oh yeah. My name is Connie. Oh, I love Mike and Frank, Teresa and Paul. Mike and Frank, Teresa and Paul. Mike and Frank, Teresa and Paul. Oh, yeah, my name is Connie. Oh, I love Mackenzie and Devin and Paul Jr. Mackenzie and Devin and Paul Jr. Mackenzie and Devin and Paul Jr. Oh, yeah, my name is Connie. I have a dog named Indy, and he's
Oh,
my pal. A dog named Indy, and he's my pal.
mhm.
I have a dog named Indy, and he's my pal. Oh, yeah, my name is Connie. My favorite color is pink. My favorite color is pink. My favorite color is pink. Oh, yeah. My name is Connie. My favorite food is macaroni. My favorite food is macaroni. My favorite food is macaroni. Oh, yeah. My name is Connie.
Oh,
Just that simple little thing, not a lot of music. And what I did, once she got to where, the care plan began to change, of course, we'll talk about it. But I was at her bedside doing all this stuff with her, before she passed. And as she passed, I had copies available for all the family members so they could all have a copy, um, of this little song, so
oh,
yeah, yeah,
oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, I'm reading some of the comments, and yeah, everybody's saying it's priceless. They love it. It's meaningful for those with dementia. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Now, did they find this when she did this? She had this practice of the song. Did you find that when she would come back and do it, she was able to recall names because it was put to music?
Right, because it was put to music. So what we call that is music prompted reminiscence or recalling through music. So every week we worked on it every single week, and it was what she wanted to do was to work on this because she didn't want to forget. She did not want to forget, and she knew what was going to happen. So that was the way we did it. Yeah. So every week I would do like a fill in the blank. I would say, my favorite color is, and see if she could say it.
Ah, okay,
My favorite food is, see if she could recall it. So that's
okay.
how we did it every week. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that.
It was
And I want to go to back to certification
Yes.
because that was really important because what essentially what you want us to know, it's not as simple as knowing how to play an instrument.
No, not at
It's
all.
so you don't want to just get someone who says, "Hey, well, I can play music for him." And this person, I would think you'd have to know something about the disease clearly.
You have
right?
to know, yes, and I'm going to talk about all those things. So,
Okay.
music therapists must hold the MTBC credential, which is issued through the Certification Board of Music Therapists. And the
Okay.
reason for that, it protects the public by making sure that competent people are practicing music therapy. Just like with any other profession, you want to make sure. So the way to find out if someone tells you they're a music therapist, you can go to cbmt.org. I put it in
Okay.
the chat to you.
Yeah.
You can put that person's name in, and you can see that they are board certified and that they're in good standing with the Music Therapy Board of Certification. Because there is what we have also is called a scope of practice. There are things that we're allowed to do, and there are things that we have to stay within our scope. So, for example, even though I'm Christian, for an example, but I cannot go beyond my scope of practice and go into preaching or
Mm,
biblical. I can't. That's not. I'm right now. I'm a therapist.
okay.
Right now I'm a music therapist. So that's key. And music degrees require a knowledge of psychology, medicine, and music. So when we talk about medicine, when we talk about what the patient's diagnosis is, based on that, then we know what we're going to do once we assess the patient for music therapy.
Okay. Okay. I'm putting in the chat into Facebook so you guys could see that website. That's the cbmt.org
Mm-hmm.
for certified music therapists.
Music therapist, correct.
Right. Okay. Awesome. And I want to go back to some questions
Mm-hmm.
that some of the viewers had. Can an LCSW, I think it's a social worker, do a bit of music therapy or they must be certified? So the answer is no.
They should be board certified. And people, a lot of times, people use music for if they're sitting with the patient, they might want to hear their favorite song. That's cool.
Sure.
But
Right.
you have not, what a social worker does not do is set up a care plan. So I'm going to talk about our interdisciplinary team for a minute,
Okay.
because we do part of our team. We have social workers, we have chaplains, we have music therapists. That's our interdisciplinary, and we have a nurse and a doctor. So every week when we meet, we have what's known as our interdisciplinary team meeting or our IDG meeting. And that's where when our new patients come on to service, um, and a family may say, yes, we'd love to have music therapy. Grandma loves country, Western, or whatever, but I need to know something about what is the diagnosis. So I need to go out and do an assessment and figure out what I'm going to do so that I know what I'm going to do. What kind of goals and objectives am I going to set in place in working with this patient? So a social worker, they can use music for listening or what have you, but not set a care plan in place for music therapy.
Okay. 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 Thank you.
Yeah.
I want to.
I just want to add quickly too.
Oh,
So
sure.
the other side of that is my scope of practice as a music therapist. If I'm with a patient and they say I'm contemplating suicide,
Hmm.
bam, my first thing is, do you have anything? Are you thinking of killing yourself? Do you have anything in the house that will harm you? First thing I'm doing is I'm getting to the social worker right away, because that's out of my scope of practice. Same thing.
Okay.
Same thing. If I get there and I see a patient with a wound or something looking really funny, I'm going to get the nurse, because that's out of my scope. Out of my scope.
Right, right, right. And that's actually one of the questions I wanted to ask you. How do you collaborate with other healthcare professionals? And so that's
Yes.
what you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even if a nurse is with a patient and they see them having some anxiety, and they know that I'm seeing that patient, they'll call me and say, "Hey, Taryn, can you come over? She's having
Okay.
some difficulty breathing, or she's really really anxious today. She's whatever's going on." They'll call me and say, "Hey, can you come out?" Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if you can answer this for us in regards to like insurance. Do you know if this music therapy is paid through insurance or how it works at all?
Not as of yet. We're working on that. The state of Connecticut has just created with licensure. Has just gotten to where music therapists have to be licensed in the state of Connecticut. I believe New York. I know New York has the LCAT, licensed creative arts therapists. I don't know if New York does, but not as of yet. We're getting there.
Okay. So then that's important to know for all the listeners. You want to check the laws in your own state, so it could vary
Yes.
what's available. Okay,
Yes.
awesome.
And music therapy is not just for hospice. I want to add that music therapy
Mm,
can be for all other populations, for everything from teenagers to drug addiction to eating disorders to traumatic brain injuries, all kinds of different things, from dementia, you name it. Music therapy can be a benefit.
I have another question. Can music therapy be done with nonverbal patients?
Yes, I do that all the time. Yes, and music therapy with nonverbal patients. Um, I may have a patient that sometimes I'll write a word out, and we may just work with the words that way using the whiteboard. If a patient is nonverbal and unable to speak, if they can hear me, then I can ask them what would they like to do. How can I help you with music? Sometimes it's just tactile. They're not verbal. Sometimes they like to do tactile things. So I have
Okay.
instruments like cabasas, things with beads, things that they
Ah,
can do tactile things with. A busy board, little drums. I use little drums. Sometimes we can just drum, different things like that. And I'm also looking for cues from patients, particularly nonverbal, for pain. So if I see
mm,
the furrow in their brow, I know that there's some discomfort. And then I can say, do you want me to get a nurse? To come out. Is it time for your medication? Do you need someone to come and administer meds to you? And sometimes I'll just play softly for them while waiting for their meds to help reduce that anxiety, to
okay.
help relieve that pain, help distract them from that pain while waiting for medication. So yes, music
Okay.
therapy is very good for patients that are nonverbal. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. I want to know what it looks like when you do a visit. See, I see you have that keyboard, and I love you on the keyboard.
Well,
But
this is my big keyboard. I have a
yeah.
tiny one that I use
Okay.
for work. But believe it or not, I actually use the guitar more than I use the keyboard.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, I use it more because I get to be closer to patients and near them, especially if I'm doing fill in the blanks or something like that. So let's see something that I can do. I may do something like Christmas time. All right. Um, let's see. What's a good one? What's a good Christmas song? Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens,
Mm.
bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, bright paper packages tied up with string. These are a few of my favorite things. Now I want you to tell me some of your favorite things.
Very nice.
Right. So I'll leave a gap in there. Tell me your favorite color. Leave a
Hmm.
gap,
Oh, that's awesome.
right?
I love it. I love it. So I
Yeah.
know I realized that you don't
Hmm.
just play because when you were just talking about nonverbal patients, you also allow them to play an instrument as well.
Absolutely. I give
Okay.
them drums, I give them shakers, and it's good for upper body movement, lower body. We may do
Mm.
some exercise with our legs. I may do a little bit of you can do anything but lay off of my blue suede shoes. Yeah, yeah. I'm going to move my foot up and down. I'm going to move my left foot up and down. I'm going to shake my right hand up and down and up and down. Oh yeah,
Oh, I love it.
up and down. Something simple like that.
Hmm.
Just things like that. So just to get them moving their body, I have a lady that loves to do. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. So
Ah.
we are climbing
Mm.
Jacob's ladder. That's her favorite. That's what we do.
Ah.
You know.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Every
love it. I love
round
it.
goes higher and higher, and it's
Yeah.
getting her to move her body.
Hmm.
Um, and she has some arthritis in her hands, but she can stretch her hand out like that.
Ah.
She can stretch. So I said, well, what's the song that talks about stretching our hand? And she had to think a minute. I said, the first word is father. She said,
Mm.
Father, I stretch my hand
Wow.
to thee.
Mm.
Just simple little stretching exercises, Yeah, but that's how we do it. So part of how we do it. Yeah.
Wow.
So many different things.
That's awesome. That's a great gift you have. Amen. I want to share another comment here. One user, Facebook, I think that's Karen. I am in Texas and I do see my hospice patient gets music therapy from a certified music therapist, but not, oh, none of the hospice
Not this
patients.
patient.
She sat in on one session and it was amazing. Client was so happy and uplifted afterwards. So you're finding, I would imagine, a lot of benefit to you and to the patient. Like it must be really gratifying. Do you find that, have you ever had a case that you encountered where the music therapy was difficult for them, where they maybe the family asked for it, but they don't really seem to enjoy it?
Yeah, and again, I always like to defer to the patient. If a
Mm.
patient doesn't feel that they're going to benefit from something, then that's you're not honoring the patient. You're not honoring the patient at all. So I like to um, sometimes I'll just speak with the family, and explain to them, she really doesn't want it. Can we let me speak to her? Sometimes I'll just talk to the patient and find out what it is that they enjoy. If it's something else that they enjoy besides music, if the therapy isn't going to be beneficial, that's like giving somebody a hot dog and they don't like hot dogs. That's
Mm.
not fair. Just
Right,
because y'all like hot dogs, you might not like hot dogs. So that's not
right,
fair.
right,
you know
right.
so I like to speak with the patient, and find out what it is that they do enjoy.
Mm.
If they enjoy if maybe they enjoy listening to music, then we can provide a little CD player. Well, tell me what songs you like. Get them a little CD player, and I can make some CDs for them, and that's it. Maybe they don't want to work through anything. Maybe they don't want to
Okay.
deal with anything like that. So that's always good. And I like to, again, because you don't want to be invasive. They have enough going on. They're
Mm.
losing control.
Mm.
At this stage of life, they've already lost control. A lot of independence has already been gone, especially if they're in a nursing home. You
Yeah,
got to eat at this time. You got to do this. So you want to give them something that will work for them. You know,
yeah.
that's the most important thing. To the person that was in Texas, um, if I like to always tell families, again, music therapy is not just for hospice. So if there's a way to introduce music therapy to those facilities, have them go to that website, to cbmt.org and musictherapy.org, and try to find music therapists and try to help them, tell them, just hire one for at least a couple of patients,
Yeah.
because it is such a benefit. It really is just such a benefit. To anyone. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Um, you had a session with a patient. Well, you had a session with a patient that was also with the family. You were talking about working through things. Did you have any sessions where families are trying to work on their relationships
Yes.
and they did music therapy?
Yes. I had one in particular. This lady was, her daughter had come to visit the patient. She come to visit her mom, and she happened to like gospel. So we did all the gospel songs. God is great and greatly to be, all the churchy stuff that she loved.
Mm.
And we're doing this music this one particular day when the daughter was there, and um, the daughter was so shocked. She was like, "Mom, I didn't know you could sing. I didn't know any of this." Throughout this, she never knew her mom could
Oh, she
sing.
didn't know.
And
Wow.
so the mother began to cry. The mother began to cry, and she said to her daughter, she said, "I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Forgive me for not exposing you to this side of myself.
Mm.
Forgive me for never telling you that this music meant so much to me." So she never shared it with her daughter,
Wow.
and it was because she had been angry. She had gone through some anger issues and was angry at God. How could this happen to me? Why is this happening to me? So my time with her before the daughter was there, we spent time sorting through all of that. talking through all of that, and was able to get to what are the songs that you leaned on, what were the things that got you through prior to you having this anger and all this. So we worked through that over weeks and weeks and weeks. And I wound up playing her service incidentally too.
Oh,
But yeah, so there was this moment between mother and daughter, and I knew at that point I needed to back away, step away, move the keyboard out the way, and let them two work through this. So while they were talking and discussing what they needed to talk about, I just moved out of the way and let them finish that out because I had done my part. There was nothing else for me to do in there. I was that's it. Yeah. So
wow.
powerful moment. Didn't know that was coming.
Ah,
Had no idea. I thought we were just going to sing some church music. I didn't know that the daughter had never heard her mom sing, and I didn't know that the mother was going to ask for forgiveness because she had never sang before for her daughter and didn't know about her love of gospel music. So, yeah. So
wow.
it's really interesting because in hospice in particular, we're coming in at the end of the story. You
Ah,
know,
okay. Yeah.
we don't know everything.
Mhm.
We don't know everything.
Mm.
So sometimes you see family members that are maybe not talking to each other.
Yeah.
I had a situation where the family was there, but they were all turned to the wall, looking out the window. No one was talking to anybody. And this was a challenge for me. I'm like, oh God, what do I do?
Right.
What to do?
Wow.
So I had my little keyboard, so I just said, let me just put some music in this space. So I just started to play some simple chords, nothing giant, nothing big, just just some simple, quiet.
Mhm.
And over time, I just kept playing, and they kind of started to talk to each other. you
Mm.
know, kind of turned around and started to
Mm.
talk. And then eventually they gathered around the bed after a few minutes, and they started to talk and they started to talk to each other.
Mm.
And gradually, I just gradually bowed my little old self right on out the way and let them do what they needed to do. So the music was therapeutic in that it was like holding. The
Mm.
music was actually holding them so
Wow.
that they could focus on when to know when your job is finished in there,
Mm.
when you're done. I've been with patients as they've taken their last breath, and I can tell. I've been doing this a while, so if I'm at the bedside playing guitar and I can tell, looking at the breathing, looking at, I move and I ask the family, do you all want to come be at bedside now? I move out of the way. I'll continue playing, but I move and let the family get in there, you
Mm.
know, because I'm helping with breathing. I'm helping with the agonal breathing, which is sometimes something that we see at end as a patient is transitioning. And I get called in a few times for that.
Okay.
As the patient is experiencing the last breath, the agonal breathing, the terminal restlessness, that we see they're pulling the covers on and pulling the covers off and off and on
Mm.
and on. And, so I do technique using simple chords on guitar or keyboard just to help them with that breathing, you know,
Mm.
to help them to settle down. So, yeah.
So you've been there when the patient is
Yes.
transitioned. Okay.
Yes. And I tell you that experience is so powerful,
Mm.
um, to be there in that moment. And, you're using music, and it's their music. Whatever, if I've had time, sometimes it's the first day I'm in there, boom, and that's it. But if I've had a patient over weeks and over months, and I know what their music is, and I'm going to play all their favorite music, but
Mm.
I'm going to play it to match the breath rate at the moment. With the breath rate, I
Mm.
may start out with that, and it's in the families to get through. They know they did everything that they could. They did their best, and just to be able to share in that moment. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it
Wow.
is. It is a great profession. I absolutely love it.
Okay. I have one other comment here. Has
I
working with predominantly hospice patients affected you in any way? This person works in nursing homes. as a social worker, and she remembers when she went to see a patient and found him dead. He had a heart attack and nobody knew. And I found him as I was going to do a session with him.
Oh, that, that can be, that's something that, there are some patients that I carry with me in my heart, and I always will. I'll never forget, I think if anything, how it has affected me, it's made me realize that life is valuable. It makes me appreciate life, appreciate living. It has helped me to understand that we could be here 1 minute and gone the next.
The next.
I've had patients that we've had this wonderful visit. We were going to do a legacy project. He was going to write a book. I was going to put music to him talking about his life story. I had all these plans. The next week he was gone. I didn't get a chance to do anything with him.
Wow.
So it has affected me in ways of thinking about life in general. Yeah. It because you just don't know. And I'm appreciative of life, of living, very appreciative. And understanding that families, friends, loved ones need to always remember to support each other.
Yeah.
In any way that you can. Talking about caregiving can look like so many different things, like music therapy can look like different things for different people. So in my profession, I cover all genres of music. I mean, all.
Right.
So yeah, oh boy, I had a lady teach me a Russian song one time.
Oh, wow.
And I've covered some of everything. CCR down on the corner. Elvis, rock and roll, Motown, gospel. Traditional gospel, contemporary gospel. And even dealing with hymns, you have to. I like to. People say, I had a patient say, "Well, I like spiritual music," and I learned quickly to ask what that means.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Spiritual music does not mean to break out with sweet Jesus.
Right.
Just because they said spiritual music. Spiritual music can be Bob Marley to somebody. Spiritual music can be the Beatles to somebody else.
Conscious music.
So I need to ask them, give me an example of what it is that you like, and how we're going to work through this, what it is that you want to work on with music. What is it that you want to work on? Do you want to work on forgiveness? Do you want to work on anger? Do you want to work on love? Do you want to work? What is it that you want to work on? And how can we use this music to do that? Yeah.
Oh, this is good. This is good. I want to check to see if anyone else has any more questions. On Facebook, see if anyone else had more questions. My questions, check my YouTube people. If anyone had questions out there, this is really good. I'm really enjoying this conversation, and I know I'm getting a lot of great comments. So I know a lot of people are getting some good information from you. There is I think we covered this already, but I really love these stories. The stories that you have with the families. Did you have another recording that you could share with us?
Sure, I do. This was
and what was this? Oh, I'm sorry. I have one question. How long is each session? Does it?
Some can go as short as 15 to 20 minutes. I have a gentleman right now. He doesn't want to sing anything but "I Want to Hold Your Hands" by the Beatles.
Oh,
that's it. I walk in with my guitar. He goes, "Oh, hi. I want to hold your hand." Okay, let's do it. I sing "I Want to Hold Your Hand," and he said, "Thank you." Like, okay. Anything else you want to do? Anything else you want to work on? No, not today. Okay, all right.
So this music therapy is just like even physical therapy. It's whatever the patient can tolerate.
Right, exactly.
So okay.
Yeah. So if a patient is extremely agitated and they're becoming combative, music is not going to help right then. So what I like to do with a patient that may be so agitated, that sometimes I'll just do gentle touch first and just singing their name to them. Just singing their name. I can't go in with a whole bunch of songs right then. I gotta meet them where they are. So we're gonna start right here. I'm gonna do some gentle touch, maybe just singing their name, just helping them calm down first, and then maybe we can try some music. And it may not be a good instrument at all. Maybe just some singing, just to help them you know. And if they're up here like this, I'm gonna start up here like this with them, right
Okay.
there. I'm gonna start right there, and then I'm gonna
Right.
gradually bring it down. Yeah, I'm gonna meet them where they are.
Yes.
So yeah, it's so important, so important.
Okay. So introduce this next recording for us. What was this
This
session like?
lady, she had end-stage renal, and she also had dementia. But we did. Her daughter would call in, so you'll hear her daughter on the phone calling in for the session as well. She loved gospel, and I would go see her every week, and she would forget who I was. She'd say, who is you?" I said, "It's this Taryn. It's Taryn." And I pulled the keyboard out. She said, "Oh, it's church time. It's church time." Yes, it's church time. So we would do our thing. So this is a
Oh,
session of her. This is her little song that she kind of made up on her own. Thank you for my journey. And then she put some other stuff to it. But here we go. That's what I'm talking about. Say it, grandma. Let you praise it. I like that. I like that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, oh, you brought me from a mighty long way. I thank you. Thank you. Thank you for my joy. You brought me from a mighty long way. Hallelujah. And that
that's
was her
awesome.
saying his name forevermore. I want to play the end of this because she actually leads us in the prayer at the end.
Hmm.
Now this is me giving her space. He's there at all times. Right on the main line. He's right on the main line. At all times. At all times. That's it. He's all right. He's all right. He's all right. Jesus all right. I mean, we had so much fun, but it
That's
just,
awesome.
you hear me? I'm just playing simple little chords, nothing big,
Hmm.
no big deal, but giving her space, to fill in with what she wanted to say about God. He's on
Right.
time. He's never late. He be with me at all times. She was 101. I think
Oh,
she was 101.
amen. I love it.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. So I love that because it sparks their creativity
yep,
and it engages them.
yeah. So, she's a very sweet lady. I loved her. I want to. Amen and amen. Hallelujah. You running this. You running the show today. You again. No, you did wonderful. So just sweet, So glad I got to capture that, and you know, yeah. And another thing that I population that I've done some work with was a gentleman with COPD.
Oh,
Right. So he was a
yeah.
flute player, was
Oh,
flautist,
wow.
and he actually we wound up playing something together, and I actually recorded it. I got it somewhere. I'll have to send it to you one of these days. But he played this beautiful melody without his oxygen for nearly 2 minutes. It was
Oh,
was beautiful. Yeah. So working with COPD with breath, breathing, helping with the breathing, using music, with breathing exercises as well. So
wow.
yeah.
One of the YouTube listeners is asking, are you in touch with some of the families, even though the patient has passed away? Also.
Let me talk about that. So one of the things that we do is we have bereavement follow up. So we follow the families for the first 13 months after the patient has passed.
Ah.
So that could be. I've been asked to come out to see families and do music therapy with the children. It's been a minute since I've done it, but I had a family that had little kids, and they say, "Well, can Miss Taryn come?" And
Right.
so I
Oh.
go out and we do some music together, do some little songs or whatever. So yes, I'm in touch with families. Sometimes I'm asked to go and play memorial services for
Ah.
families.
Okay.
I do get asked to do that from time to time. And sometimes we stay in touch. There's some families that they just get to you, and
Right.
so they'll reach out and they'll call me or we'll talk. And if they need additional bereavement support, like a bereavement group, then we do offer that. They
Okay.
can have 6 weeks of bereavement, where they go through some steps with a person specializes in bereavement, you know. Yeah, people that specialize in bereavement.
Okay.
How does
Um,
music therapy
yeah.
meet caregivers and families?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, gives them an opportunity for self-expression.
Hmm.
That's one.
I saw
It
that.
gives them an opportunity to communicate. Helps with communication. I had a gentleman that wanted to. He never was much for talking and saying "I love you,"
Hmm.
but we found some songs to help him say that. How he wanted to
Oh.
say that to his mom, "I love you." He was
Oh
never
wow.
one to really do that. He was a young man too, but so yeah, it helps caregivers and families in so many ways. Communication definitely is a big one. Um, Given that opportunity for expression, reminiscences. Ooh, I remember that time we was at that cookout and that song came on. He used to shimmy.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. You can so those are ways that it helps. Also definitely with breaking down forgiveness, finding opportunities for forgiveness, getting through some anger. Like I said, we're coming in at the end, so we don't know everything.
Yeah.
So we have to give family members time to work through, and we're just there to kind of help, with the music. So yeah.
Yeah. I love this. This was a great conversation.
Thank
This
you.
was great. Great information. Great conversation. If anyone has more questions, please put in the chat. We got a few more minutes. We're gonna try to just do this to an hour. See, we're almost at the hour.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
really doing it's my first time doing something like
I told you this was
that.
great. No, you did fantastic, and I know everyone has enjoyed this. I have enjoyed this. This has really been a blessing. I think we pretty much all had our questions answered. It's clear that music therapy is a good tool to use when someone is going through sickness. And again, I'm glad it's not just for hospice care because I think that's kind of what
Oh,
we all relegated to.
yeah. Don't get
Um,
me wrong.
I know for me with my mom, it wasn't so much that I didn't know what music therapy was. I didn't know what that was, and it wasn't necessarily offered. Um, for me, there was a song that came to me. One of my favorite hymns, "Abide with Me,"
Hmm.
and I knew I wanted to play that for her when she passed. I didn't know I'd be there when she passed,
Hmm.
but I did happen to make it there, and it is important to have someone like yourself in the room when it happens because you're right. For those of us who've never seen someone pass, you don't know what's happening.
Right.
And when I was there with my sister and the nurse, we noticed mom's breathing was slowing. And I remember, we called the nurse, and then the nurse kind of shook mom and said, okay, it should be any minute now. And we were just thrown by that. She was in hospice, but this
Mm-hmm.
sounds odd, but I didn't expect death. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Yes, it does. It makes
Okay.
total sense.
It
It
was
really
just
does.
odd to me. It was odd. And she called it a death rattle.
That's such a horrible term, but yeah.
Okay. So is that what you were describing when you were talking about the breathing?
The breathe, sometimes the breathing, and it's just because naturally we swallow, when
Yes.
our reflexes are working, we naturally just swallow. Well, when a person is at that stage at the end of life, they're not swallowing. Those reflexes aren't working. Those muscles aren't working. So the saliva just pools in the throat.
Oh,
And it's more discomforting for us to hear than for the patient.
I
Patients have no
see.
pain at all. It's
Okay.
just that it's just pooling because we naturally swallow and, you know, yeah. So that's what that is.
Okay. So when she told me, yeah, it's any minute now, we realized, I said, what do you mean by that? I wrote this in my book, and she said, well, she's about to pass on. And I hurried and got the song, and, and I played it. And then at that time, and you're right, the music helped me to communicate and put
Mhm,
things to words, put
mhm.
my feelings to words. And,
Exactly.
and my sister and I were able to just say, you did a great job. If you're ready, you can go. Like all
Yeah.
is well,
You
to
give
give her
them,
that peace.
you give them that peace, give them that permission, quote unquote.
Yes.
You're ready. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be okay. If I'm there with families, I like to tell them, you're surrounded by people that love you very much.
Hmm.
You're surrounded by people that are here that love you, and I'll say the family members' names or things like that. And it helps, just to let them release and to let them go. Um, I did put my personal email in the chat for you, so you can,
Yes.
if
I'll
people have
share that.
other questions or they can always reach out to me at my email as well. I'll be
I
happy
will
to
share
share
that.
any resources, anything that I can provide to give help. I'm more than willing to do that.
Thank you so much, Taryn. This was great. This
Thank
was
you.
great. Everyone, thank you so much for watching, for hanging out with us tonight. I will put Taryn's information in the chat so you guys have that if you want to reach out to her, if you have some questions.
Thank you.
And again, I will post those links again as to how to get a music therapist in your area and to make sure that they're certified.
Yes.
This was great. I'm so
Important.
glad you joined us. I'm so glad everyone was able to listen in. This was great. This
Thank
has
you.
really blessed me. This was really blessed me. And I hope you come back. I might have you back.
Okay.
I'm thinking of a pairing, and
All right.
Regina's watching, so I hope she
Okay.
understood that this is for her too. But I'd love to marry some of the resources that
Sure.
we have together because I think it's very complementary. This has been great. This has been great. Thank you so much, Taryn. Have a great evening.
Thank you as well. Bye, everybody.
Well, everyone, this was another Love Amplified conversation. Thank you for joining me. Keep watching this space. I'll set up another conversation soon. Thank you for joining me. Have a great evening. Bye.